There's no need for words, Snake. I'm Curtis.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Mission Critical. So the last time we were here, we had, what had we done? We had just finished, well, we got rid of the antimatter bomb. Well, we still got it, but we disabled it, so it's yeah, it's no longer armed, so that's good. We found out that Paul was the traitor, and that's why the Dharma knew that the Lexington was going to be there, the Lexington and Jericho. And we got the main computer back online, and we fixed the communication dish, and that's where we left it. So we just finished our spacewalk. We fixed the communication dish, and now we've got to use the actual communication system. And I think the idea is we need to get a hold of the base on Erebus, and they'll tell us sort of what our mission was, what we should be doing, where we should be going, etc, etc. So yeah, let's just hop straight to it. So you bring up the TCS control interface and override the distress call by entering the Melissa password that Tran gave you. You now have access to the TCS and the interstellar positioning system. You remember that Tran said something about establishing a link with Erebus through a web of TRB beacons stationed at the jump points around the stars. The IPS will allow you to select and link up with the TRB beacon. Yeah, so basically, not so much a mini game, but kind of a little interface here. So this is us. We're on the Lexington, and we've got to sort of make a path through these little sort of relay points. So at the moment, the first one, there's only really one way to go. Now, as far as I remember, like I said, I've played this game before, but ever since, like, from the beginning when I played it, first of all when I was a kid up to now, I've never figured out if there's any logic behind it or if it's literally just dumb luck. Because if you link, I mean this one's fine because there's only one choice, but later on if you link up with the wrong beacon, the base on, the UN, so the bad guys essentially, can trace it back to you and, I don't know, destroy you or something, but it's game over basically. If you get the wrong one, you lose. And I've never figured out if there's any actual logic behind it or if it's literally just potluck, you jump randomly. But obviously we've saved just before we've used this, so if it does all go wrong, we can just restore the last save and try again. But yeah, so what you do is you select the one you want to link to, so this being the only choice, TRB-10 Denokatos, which I believe is Persephone, I think. Anyway, so you hit establish link, and then you get verifying security codes verified. When you see not verified and you hear an alarm, it's game over at that point basically. So we've got two choices here. We've got the Jericho, which is the ship in orbit with us, or TRB-291. Now, if memory serves, you don't need to go through the Jericho, so let's go with this one. Alright. See, this is where it starts getting a little tricky. You don't know which one to go for, and like I said, if it goes red, it's game over. So that sounds like Toucan, we'll go with that. Verified, so that's not a problem. Then you've got Alnair or Capella, we'll go with that. Okay, good. If I recall, most of them are fine, but there's occasionally one that will screw you up. Wolf 359, yeah, okay, I'm a Star Trek fan, so we'll go with that. Ah, right, there we go, so that's bad. Now, we can go back one node, but if I remember correctly, it's already too late. Like, they will trace it back anyway, there's nothing else you can do. Yeah, there you go. So, they're just going to trace this back to us, and there's really nothing we can do at this point. We're going to have to restart. The FTL communication was traced back to the Lexington by the UN. The network's been disabled, so now you can't get the information out, so you lose, basically. So, restore. We'll go back to our, I think that was the one, yeah. Alright, you bring up the TCS control interface and override the distress call by entering the Melissa password that Tran gave you. Blah 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 blah. We'll try again. Alright, so we know that number 10 is fine. And then we went to this one here. Now, we went Toucan, and Toucan was fine, so we'll go that way again. And then we went Capella, didn't we? Yeah. Alright, we went Wolf 5359, that sounds like a bad idea. Let's go with Eridani. Ah, right, okay. So, let's just save time here. We'll exit straight out of this, and we'll just immediately restore. So that was Could have gone better. Could have gone a little better. I mean, there are other options here. Transmit is once you've created a stable link. So once we've reached Erebus, diagnostics, just everything's working fine. So that's literally all we've really got. There's a star chart here, but again, I have no idea if this is actually telling me information that I can use. Yeah, I've never figured it out when I was a kid, and now at my mid-20s, I just don't have a damn clue what I'm doing. So it's a kind of a luck-based thing here. There probably is some logic to it, but I'm damned if I know. Alright, Toucan, and then we went Pella. Alright, and then it was, yeah. So that one wasn't good. So Altair then. Okay. Alright, so it looks like that's not the way to go at all. Alright, so every sort of option we've got screws us up. So we'll try again. Bring it up again, and this is some premium gameplay here, I'm sure, but we're just going to keep going. I think Toucan is the way to go. Maybe not Capella though. Let's go Alnair. Alright, verified, so that's good. Okay, Australia or that place. Let's go with Australia. Verified, that's good. Menket or Susani. I like the sound of nope. Okay, so not that way. Like I say, I'm fairly sure there is a logic to it. I mean, there must be, right? I mean, unless you are supposed to just trial and error your way through this, but never figured it out. So Toucan, and then we went down there, and then we went. Did we go Australia? I think we went Australia, didn't we? Yeah, we went Australia, and then it was not that one. We want to go to Menkent. Alright, that sounds better. Centauri or Muffred? Muffred sounds hilarious. Let's go with that. Okay, good. Bootis. Porima. Porima. Why not? Verified. That's good. Groombridge. Wow. I wonder if these are actual stars. I mean, this is set in like our universe. Asterion or Groombridge? I like the sound of Groombridge. Ah, for crying out loud. Alright. Not Groombridge. Never go to Groombridge. It's kind of like Tiverton with the space world. It's a Devon joke. I don't think anybody's going to get that. Alright. So, that one, and then we went this one. Maybe we shouldn't go through two. Alright, I want to try the one that wasn't Groombridge. So we went Alnair, and then we went Australia, yeah. And then we went Menket. And then we went Muffred because it sounded funny. And then we went with Porima. And then we went with Groombridge when what we maybe should have gone for is Asterion. Oh. System malfunction. Okay, so you can't do Asterion, so let's try this one. Alright, so it looks like we've gone the wrong way altogether. I mean, like I said, you could try to change things here, but it doesn't really make... Nah, you don't have time. Like, maybe if you could get that link through, but I don't think that's how it works. Alright, so we've lost again. Let's just restore this one. Okay, so establish relay link. Yeah, and then, yeah, and then Toucan, and then Alnair, and then we went Australia. Maybe we should try Aldegi. Oh, that seems different. Oh, it just takes us back to Altair. We just wait. I thought Altair was fine. And Alnair is fine. All right. Once again, scrubbing it up. Okay, so let's try this again. Establish a relay link. So we'll establish a link through this one, through this one. Like I said, I don't think you can go through the Jericho. I'm pretty sure if you select the Jericho, like you have to link with them later, but I'm pretty sure once you've linked with the Jericho, they're the only option. Right, so we went Australia, and then Sasani is bad, isn't it? I think. And then Ket. We've been going Muffred. Let's go Porima. See, I thought Porima was bad. Alright, Muffred. Muffred we know is fine. We'll go with Muffred. Bootis. We've never tried Bootis. Alright, that seemed to work. another Bootis. We'll give that a go. Alright, verify. This is good. Hercules. We'll go with Hercules. Ah, damn it, Hercules was not the way to go. Alright. Back we go again. It's a good job this is before sort of achievements and Iron Man modes became a thing, because Jesus Christ. Imagine if you had to do the first like 2 hours all over again every time you screwed up. I mean, I may not even be going the right way here, but for some reason I have it in my head that you're supposed to go off in sort of Erebus is on the right somewhere, so I'm just trying to sort of work my way up there. Australia, and then Menket, and then I think we went Muffred again, didn't we? And then Bootis we did go for, didn't we? And then we went for another Bootis, and then it was Hercules that we shouldn't have done. So let's try. Alright. Oh, hang on a minute. Ah, yeah, this. Okay, alright. Well, this is going well. This is going just fantastic. Alright. Establish a link there. I mean, I could just sort of look this up. I'm sure there's a walkthrough somewhere, but that would be, for a game that I've completed like a million times, I shouldn't need a walkthrough, but here I am, clearly needing a walkthrough. Alright, Muffred was fine, and then Bootis was fine, and then the other Bootis was fine, and then that was bad. Well, that was fine, but it led to only Hercules. Let's try Arcturus. That's the only way. And that led to only Hercules, didn't it? Which is bad. Alright, so that's not the way to go. So that's probably not the way to go. Let's try. Actually, Arcturus we know is fine. That leads back to Bootis, which we know is fine. And that leads to Hercules, which is bad, and that one's. Alright, so this isn't the way to go. So there is actually a little bit of logic here once you've done a bit of trial and error. So Arcturus, we'll try that one. Aha! We did it! There we go, Erebus Colony, okay. Link established, two-way communication possible. So now we go main menu and transmit over link. And now if I remember, there is a kind of a long dialogue sort of interactive cutscene bit here. So I'm probably going to shut up for a little bit. Insert disc one. That's the only real downside to this game is despite being absolutely tiny by today's standards, you do have to do a little bit of flipping over of the discs. But most of it, I think I said before, most of the cutscenes are on disc 1, so it's not too bad for most of the game, but every now and then it's kind of annoying. Waiting for relay synchronization. Contact is Admiral Charles Decker, so call then Admiral Decker.
This is Admiral Charles Decker. Stand by for authentication of your Jasmine transmission.
Sup, bro?
Authentication is Alpha 90, Niner Tango 4, 8 Hotel Sierra.
Whatever. I assume that's whatever.
Whatever.
Given the Jasmine coding for this transmission, I assume that this is the Lexington. You've been out of touch for quite some time. Since our last communication with you, we've come across a potential threat to the success of the mission. I need to talk to Captain Dana right away.
Well, that's unfortunate.
I'm afraid he's dead. So is the rest of the crew. I'll fill you in on what's happened.
Hell, Lieutenant. The situation couldn't be much worse.
Well, at least the Dharma was destroyed.
At least the Dharma was destroyed and the Lexington is back in action. There is a chance that I can continue the mission.
Well, Dana did the only thing he could have. Some hope is better than none. But this isn't even a long shot. You have no idea what you're up against.
Not really feeling the love right now.
I think the best thing you can do is take the Lexington out to a safe place, perhaps a few 100,000 kilometers away from Persephone, and wait for reinforcements.
Reinforcements, huh?
So there are reinforcements on their way.
Another expedition is now on its way. With the need for secrecy gone, we could gear up the whole damn fleet for this one. The heavy cruisers Midway, Iwo Jima, and Tarawa have already departed. They're being escorted by one of the Lexington's sister ships, the Concord, and a squadron of destroyers.
Oh god, okay. Excellent news. I'll give the... Well, okay, no, so that's going to be game over, isn't it? I'll give the order... No. There we go. Basically, we just got to argue with them.
Ships on the way. We may not have 4 months to wait for another expedition.
Well, Lieutenant, that's just the problem. We know for a fact that there are more UN ships on their way. A battle group of frigates, destroyers, maybe even a cruiser or two. They could show up any time now.
How can I fight back?
How can I fight back?
You can't, really. You have half the normal complement of active battle drones. The Lexington has sustained serious damage. You have no combat experience. There are no other crew members to help you with weapons control, damage control, navigation, engineering, or anything else. Need I go on?
We have to think of a way.
We have to think of a way. The crews of the Lexington and the Jericho died to give me a shot at this. You need to tell me about how to get the weapon systems online.
What I'm going to tell you is how to steer that ship to a point 250,000 kilometers outside the plane of the ecliptic so you can stay out of danger.
I'm not steering the ship anywhere except close to Persephone. I have an obligation to Captain Dana.
I have an obligation to Captain Dana
Gotta
and the
love
crew
Worf.
of the 2 ships. I can't just give up.
I am giving you a direct order to take the Lexington out of danger.
I wish there was an option that wasn't quite so respectful. You can just go, fuck you, man. But, okay, I'm respectfully declining to obey.
And I'm respectfully declining to obey. I'm going to stay and fight.
Who the hell do you think you are, Lieutenant? Who gave you the authority to disobey a U.S. Navy fleet admiral in a time of war?
Captain Dana did, sir, and his authority and trust are what count right now.
Captain Dana didn't tell you to disobey orders.
He was counting on me to finish the mission. I'm going to do it, or die trying.
Okay, Lieutenant. If I can't order you to pull out, maybe I can reason with you. You need to understand why playing hero isn't going to help anybody. All you'll do is get yourself killed. You also need to understand why there is no way you can successfully complete the mission.
Oh,
Let's talk about our
Slight
options
freeze.
here.
you could start by telling me about the mission.
By telling me about the mission.
18 months ago, one of our unmanned IX probes was mapping new jump points around the star Omicron Eridani. The probe found a jump point that took it 68 light-years away from Earth, to an unexplored star system with 7 planets. The probe began a routine orbital survey of the planets, and then abruptly returned to known space years before its mission was scheduled to end. When the probe got within range of a tachyon relay beacon, it sent home a series of burst transmissions describing an anomaly under the surface of the 6th planet. The probe scanners had found a huge metal structure that could only be the result of intelligent construction. Now, the Alliance was keenly aware of the implications. This discovery was strong evidence for the existence of alien intelligence. The potential existed for finding advanced technology or a spacefaring alien civilization at the site. The results could tilt the balance of power in the war with the UN. Preparations for an expedition to the mysterious planet, now called Persephone, were started in the utmost secrecy. Finally, 4 months ago, the Lexington and the USS Jericho departed for Persephone from the Eisenhower orbital docks around Titan. The only people on the 2 ships who knew the true nature of the mission were Captain Dana, Captain McCain, and Lieutenant Commander Tran.
Wow, so we found aliens. Any more signs of ET activity?
Any more signs of ET activity discovered?
None. The installation on Persephone is it, as far as I know.
So what was the main mission objective?
So what was the purpose of the expedition? What are the mission objectives?
The Jericho was outfitted with an array of sensors and special instruments to be used to gather data on the alien installation. She is also carrying a planetary lander, adapted specifically for the harsh conditions on Persephone. Captain McCain was going to use the lander to go down to the surface of Persephone with a team of scientists. Now, these are the mission goals. To land on Persephone and see if the builders of the installation are still around. If so, initiate first contact and establish a basis for ongoing communication. If not, explore and gather data on the installation and attempt to find out if there is any exploitable technology. Gather samples and return to Earth with the information.
Okay, why the Lexington?
Why the Lexington?
The Lexington was the logical choice as an escort for a number of reasons. She was a combat-tested ship, with perhaps the finest captain and crew in the fleet. She's one of the fastest ships we have. She had also been outfitted with an experimental new weapons control system.
Ooh,
Tell me about the new weapons system.
that
Don't
sounds
get any
interesting.
ideas, Lieutenant.
Just tell me about the system.
This system is a prototype. The first of its kind. It has not been battle-tested. It also has some serious operational flaws. The purpose of the system is to put humans back in the loop during combat. The system has two components: a neural link from the operator to the ship's main computer, and a drug that actually acts on the brain to allow a direct interface with the computer. The drug speeds up certain brain functions to allow real-time control of weapons during ship-to-ship combat.
I just figured out who this guy reminds me of. He looks like George Hammond, General Hammond from Stargate SG-1, but with hair.
Sounds promising. Why is a link needed?
As you know, up to now, combat has happened much too fast to be managed by human beings. Battles in space have been resolved by unmanned autonomous drones that can accelerate at 100 gravities, turn on a dime, and deliver a serious load of ordnance on target. These drones are equipped with smart computer systems capable of assimilating data and executing complicated strategies in the blink of an eye. The drones are carried aboard starships crewed by people who make the initial decisions about how to arm and deploy the drones. Once released, the drones are pretty much on their own. For the last 10 years of the war, there's been a race on both sides to improve the battle management software that runs on the drone computer hardware. A group of Alliance techies in Singapore decided that if it were at all possible to speed up human reaction times, a human brain in the loop could give one side a tremendous advantage in battle.
You would have to speed up thought processing and reaction times by orders of magnitude.
Not really sure what that means.
You're correct, Lieutenant. The solution was a drug called HYPE. HYPE is actually a concoction of neurotransmitter chemicals, micro-machines, and genetically engineered viruses. This stuff actually rewires your brain to make it faster and more efficient. Well, faster and more efficient for the purposes of managing a ship-to-ship encounter in real time. The drug also creates the nerve pathways to the forebrain needed for a direct neural link to the computer.
Are the changes reversible?
I'm guessing
that is
not.
one of the problems with the whole system. No, the changes aren't reversible. But at this point, it doesn't even matter that they aren't reversible.
What do you mean?
The drug has a nasty side effect. The modifications HYPE makes to the brain begin decaying after a few days. The results include loss of faculties, hallucinations, wild emotional swings, dementia, and finally, inevitably, death.
Does death count as a side effect?
But does the whole system work for the week that you can function without impairment?
2 test subjects volunteered to try it. Both were able to outthink and outfight the best battle management algorithms in simulated encounters between equal forces of evenly matched drones. The combination of the human brain, the central computer, and the battle management software on the drones seems to convey a significant advantage in combat.
Well, there we go.
Fielding a prototype sounds like a desperate measure.
As you know, the war isn't really going our way. At some point, we realized that we might have to deploy the hype system, even though it is still an early prototype. We knew we would have to begin recruiting volunteers to operate the system in battle, over the objections of many principal naval officers.
I didn't know the war was going badly. What's happening?
The conflict has turned into a war of attrition. The UN has more resources and more production capacity than we do. They can outproduce us 10 to 1. We have a technological edge, but we are being slowly beaten into the ground.
How bad is it?
If things continue at the current pace, we'll lose the war within 5 years.
Does the UN have an equivalent weapons system?
The UN doesn't have anything like the hype system.
The new weapons system sounds like the answer to my problem. If it really provides such a significant advantage, I can take the UN commanders by surprise. They won't even be expecting a fight.
Don't even think of it. Besides, I have no...
This guy has like no faith in me.
You'll need to activate the system.
I have like saved the ship 3 times all by myself. Come on, man. Would you rather see me die with no chance at all?
Would you rather see me die with no chance at all?
God damn it, Lieutenant. You are an irrational, insubordinate, stubborn son of a bitch. I don't know how you got past the damn psych profile.
Tell me how you really feel.
I think my irrational, insubordinate, stubborn streak is why Dana picked me to finish this mission, even though I have no combat experience or piloting skills. Let's work on the other seemingly intractable problem for a moment. I'm 1,000 meters away from the Jericho and the lander. I need to get to the lander.
Lieutenant, you aren't going anywhere without the intership shuttle. You already told me that you barely had enough oxygen to conduct the EVA to fix the comm system.
Is there any way for me to get from one ship to the other?
I don't know of any way to cross between the ships without an EVA maneuvering suit.
Can I dock the ships together?
No, I don't think so.
Very helpful, thank you. Aye, aye.
Can I bring the lander to the Lexington?
Well, if the Jericho's computer was slave to that of the Lexington's, you might be able to jack into the lander's onboard computer and deploy it remotely. Then you could fly it over to the Lexington via the uplink.
Well, it's a start. I think you can see a plan forming here. How about the release codes?
You win, Lieutenant. By God, I would court-martial you and have you shot if you actually could make it back. But good luck and Godspeed, son. If you do manage to pull this off, the Alliance and potentially all of humanity will be in your debt. Stand by for a data transmission with the information you'll need about hype and the weapons systems.
How
Decker
fucking
out.
standing. Alright. Okay, so got a new weapon system. We can actually fight back against the UN ships that are coming, and we have a plan to get down to the surface. So all we need to do is insert disc 2 and then get to work.
The demonstration is over.